માં સ્વામીની પ્રેરણા સર્વથી સ્વભણી ત્રિભાષ્ય સામયિક multilingual bi-monthly March-April 2023 Volume number 3 Issue number 13 साक्षी-भावनी शक्ति साक्षी-भाव की शक्ति The Power of Equanimity.
The Power of Sakshi-bhava, Witness Consciousness, or Sakshi-bhava ni Shakti, by Varsha Shah. Etymological meaning of Sakshi and Bhav. Sakshi is a Sanskrit term with several meanings, including witness, supreme being, and the ego. The word is derived from the roots sa, meaning with, and aks, meaning senses, eyes, or spiritual wisdom. This wisdom is the insight a yogi gains through awakening his or her inner witness, or sakshi. Sakshi-bhava, witness consciousness, in Indian parlance means to have a witnessing attitude to the world and is developed by practicing a body awareness technique. Sakshi stands for witnessing, watching, and observing, which is extremely important in Indian philosophy. It is a state of our beingness. In order to understand the effects of sakshi-bhava or yoga and the importance of a witnessing attitude, we must look at the benefits of this practice. The Bhagavad Gita speaks of sakshi-bhava or witness-like attitude as a measure of spiritual growth. Objectivity is the key to material success, happiness as well as growth to one's potential. Though it lends joy and happiness in one's life, enjoyment stays in life only to the extent one takes it in an objective sense. Sakshi Yoga relates to cultivating an attitude towards the soul's pure consciousness, internalizing and awakening. Witness consciousness technique found in Jainism and Buddhism. Freedom from miseries through sakshi-bhava. Central to Buddhist and Jain philosophy was an understanding of human nature and what caused dukkha, that is, human suffering. Suffering is a condition of stress and conflict inherent within human existence and the interaction with the world. Aging, sickness, and death, or association with the unpleasant, or separation from the pleasant, or the inability to get what one wished, are examples of conditions that lead to human suffering. Both Buddhism and Jainism reflects on 4 bhavanas. Similar technique like sakshi-bhava to overcome miseries. Man seems to be imprisoned in the creations of his own imagination from which he cannot get free. The sutra is observing the Loka Swarup and to transcend the fear, craving and enter into the state of nirbhay and abhay. Je koh dansi se maan dansi, je maan dansi se maya dansi, je maya dansi se loha dansi, je loha dansi se pijja dansi, je pijja dansi se dosha dansi, je dos dansi se moha dansi, je moha dansi se gabb dansi, je gabb dansi se maar dansi, je maar dansi se naray dansi, je naray dansi se tirya dansi, je tirya dansi se dukkha dansi. Here, dansi, darshi means to perceive, witness the nature of miseries. One should contemplate on nature of miseries. Witnessing various causes of sufferings are shown in a chain link of causality. Sakshi means a witness and bhavana means feelings or sentiments. It is a therapeutic technique to clear the mind of undesirable emotions, urges, ambitions and aspirations. This soothes and purifies the mind. First, one needs to observe angerness. If angerness is known, then it is easy to know one's ego, man ka swaroop. Understanding man would lead to understanding Maya, Maya ke swaroop. Observing Maya would lead to understanding Lobh. Observing Lobh would lead to knowing attachment, Rag. Observing attachment leads to knowing Dvesh. Witnessing Dvesh would lead to knowing the miseries of rebirth, Tiryansh. Animal is more than the miseries of state of hell because the omniscient could perceive the miseries of Nigodia Jivas, Khandamul. One should not justify, I am helpless of my condition and my present condition is due to negative karma from my past life, etc. What can I do now? However, at the same time, one should not become too upset about one's negative thoughts, because this will draw in additional negativity and intensify instability and peace of mind. If one starts to notice detrimental qualities within oneself, like procrastination, ill temper, rage, etc., here one need not jump to conclusions that one is helpless or cannot do anything about them. Sakshi-bhava, as per Osho, everything that happens, good, bad, not so good, not so bad, is received by our brain as a signal, which is called stimulus in brain language. As I watch my reactions, they start getting modified and turn to responses. That very presence of a watcher is sakshi-bhava. Third-party perspective who is not attached to either. There are other two bhavanas which can work to balance one's attitudes and emotions as an effective mind-cleansing process. First, pratipaksh bhavana, cultivating the opposite. When you notice a negative attitude, adapt the opposite attitude. If you feel anger, try to replace it with tenderness towards the person. If you feel jealousy, try to replace it with joy for the other person's accomplishments. The emphasis here is curbing the negative tendencies. Mano Sanskriti Karna, commonly perceived in the human mind. Bhagavad Gita points to the three undesirable tendencies responsible for creating imbalance in the human personality. They are Kam, Krodh and Lobh. It advocates a way to harness them by subscribing the following practices as their antidotes. Yajna, to harness the tendency of limitless desires. Tap, to harness tendency of anger. Dan, to harness the inherent tendency of greed. Maharshi Patanjali, the famous exponent of Ashtanga Yoga, prescribes the practice of certain positive attitudes as antidotes, technically termed as pratipaksh bhavana, practicing the attitude of friendliness against prevailing tendency of Dashavaikalik Sutra 8.38. One of the Mool Sutra in Jainism teaches us to conquer anger by forgiveness, Kshama Bhav, pride by humility, Vinamrata, deceit by straightforwardness, Saralta, greed by contentment, Santosh. Pratipaksh Bhavana is a beautiful and challenging mind practice. This powerful technique has the potential to shift the energies and align them in such a way that in every situation only goodness and positivity is read and picked up. Second, change, Anitya Bhavana. This type of bhavana is central to Buddhism. Nothing is permanent. Change is the only constant. Practice having equilibrium of mind when one is faced with change. The ability to withstand change is to have the knowledge and expectation that change will come. One should not be surprised by it. Prepare oneself to be able to weather some changes and challenges. Psychology behind sakshi-bhavana. According to the psychodynamic concept of fruit, the mind comprises of three phases: conscious, real experiences, preconscious, awareness, and unconscious. This unconscious state of mind is a storehouse of all unfulfilled emotions, social, antisocial thoughts which never come to a conscious level. These are forgotten, but not completely destroyed. They lie in the mind and create psychosomatic difficulties. This junk of mind is cleared by sakshi-bhavana, Sakshi-bhava is also called passive observation of self. This is a stress-relieving technique in which the person looks at various events in his own life, just in the role of an observer or witness without getting mingled in them or passing judgment about them. This also is a type of chitta vritti nirodh of Maharshi Patanjali. As the mind is active every second and it is impossible to stop the thought process, the least thing we can do is avoid responding to the situations. This is the concept behind sakshi-bhava. Scientific explanation of sakshi-bhava and other allied therapies. Views of qualified practitioners with specialized expertise in preventing, diagnosing, and treating a range of conditions and illnesses. Yoga may act at a level of hypothalamus by its anti-stress effects and reduce cortisol secretion. Our body always likes to be in a phase of equilibrium. Likewise, the brain also tries to keep the sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system in a balanced state. So if one is activated, the other remains suppressed. Sympathetic nervous system, SNS, is activated by loud noises, harsh lights, and day-to-day stressful activities. If this system is not balanced with parasympathetic nervous system, PNS, the stress will continuously trigger the SNS. Yoga claims to activate the PNS, which reduces the blood pressure, heart rate, and respiratory rate. Stimulating the PNS through meditation elevates mood, decreases cortisol, strengthens the immune system, and decreases physical and psychological well-being. By strengthening the PNS, it minimizes the body's tendency to activate the SNS and thus reduces levels of the stress hormone cortisol. Method: sit in a comfortable posture, either on the ground or on a chair. Keep the back, neck, and head in a straight line. Begin by observing the breath. Feel the cool air as it enters the nostrils and the warm air as it exits the nostrils. Once the mind is calm, begin to rotate your awareness from one body part to another, starting with the head. Go from the crown of your head, mouth, right eye, right ear, right nostril and left nostril, right cheek, left cheek, upper lip and lower lip, and so on. As you shift your focus, become completely aware of that body part. Attempt to have no other thoughts in your mind. Using sakshi-bhava can help develop a witnessing attitude in our day-to-day life. The problem is that the mind gets distracted and these distractions tire us out. In today's world, there are 1,000 things to distract the mind. Do you work hard or do you work smart? Initially, one tends to start the day working smart, focused, sharp, and full of ideas. Gradually, burdened with the unwanted thoughts, the mind gets distracted with emotions and distractions of Facebook, WhatsApp, etc. Tire or drain us out. When we identify with situations, we become emotional. Arguments and negative thinking can easily be avoided if we take a step back and see the bigger picture. Logging off Facebook and WhatsApp, which are means to interact with the world in, is not a practical solution, but practice of sakshi-bhava witnesses to a situation. Though difficult to develop, the process of body awareness, if practiced regularly, will help us to control the emotions that arise when we interact with the world and we learn to remain calm and in peaceful state. There is nothing like a great yoga practice to bring the mind back to the present and keep it fresh and focused. The simple yogic practice of sakshi-bhava can help. Here are some ideas of intentions to focus the thinking mind on throughout the day. Remove resistance from the body and mind. Develop the faith to follow one's intuition. Detoxify body and mind. Focus the mind as you breathe. Improve your reaction to a situation currently in your life. Develop clarity. a new job or new career, building a business or creating something. Give time for art, exercise, or other self-development. Improve one's HRV, heart rate variability. To heal physically or emotionally. Develop more awareness or understanding. Have greater compassion. To connect body, mind, and spirit. To connect to a higher consciousness. The exercise of sakshi-bhava should take you between 2 to 3 minutes and can be practiced anywhere. In order to understand the effects of sakshi-bhava and the importance of a witnessing attitude, we must look at the benefits of this practice. By shifting our focus to different parts of the body, we are able to observe the body as though we were observing another person's body. In this way, we become detached in our observation. Slowly, through practice, this method of detachment can be practiced with the mind as well, and we are able to observe our thoughts instead of being attached to them. Next time, when we are unable to find a creative idea, or are stuck with a problem, or are feeling tired, take a few minutes to practice sakshi-bhava.